Hi students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mbide, and in today's session, we are going to learn about creative writing and specifically plays. Plays and fall under a form of creative writing called drama. So we'll define what a play is. We'll have a look at characteristics or features of play, what to consider when writing a play, and also differentiate between a play and a novel. Are they the same thing? What are the differences? That is what we are going to look at in this session. So drama makes use of scripts that are written to guide the actors to perform on stage. So any script that is written for acting purposes is called a play. So if you have ever gone to the theater and watched people perform something, that is called a play. So one thing about plays is that they have stage directions and the words that each character is expected to say while on stage. So in the next slide, we will see what stage directions are, but they provide details of the setting, they provide details of the props that will be used, the costumes that will be worn, the actors' movement on the stage. They even go ahead to give maybe the age of the actors and any details we may need for that particular scene. There are different types of examples of plays. For example, the play that is currently being read for English Paper 3 is Parliament of Owls by Adipo Sidang. The previous one was A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. Another play is Betrayal in the City by Francis Imbuga. An Enemy of the People by Henrik Ibsen. So there are very many plays that have been published, and some we have even read in schools. Some have not been published as books, but are performed in the theater. So what are some characteristics of a play? What is it that I need to look out for to see if a text is a play? How can I distinguish between a play and a novel, or a play and a short story? What are some of the things that distinguish a play? So that is what is called characteristics or features. And the first one is the plot. A good play has a plot. So what is the plot? The plot is the flow of events, the order of events. So the plot highlights the series of events in the play. So what happens from the beginning to the end of the play? How do the events flow? What do the characters do? Are there any characters that die? Are there any characters that are born? That flow is called plot, and it is important if you're writing a play to have a good plot. So the plot ensures that different scenes are well connected as the play unfolds. Number two characteristic of play is the characters, but all forms of writing have characters. So if you're writing your play, decide on how many characters do you want in your play. Decide which character will be the protagonist and which character will be the antagonist. And then also develop their traits, so what we call character traits. How do they behave? How do they dress? How do they talk to each other, to other people? That is what we call character traits. Are they kind? Are they unkind? Are they rude? Are they polite? Are they impolite? Those are called character traits. So before you start writing your play, ensure that you know, I want X amount of characters. I want this character to have these traits, this other character to have these traits, and so on. Setting is another feature of a play. So every play has a setting. So what is setting? When you're looking at setting, you can look at setting in two ways. In terms of the time of when did it happen, and place, where did it happen. So for example, a play like Parliament of Owls, when you're looking at the setting, you look, when was this play written? Is it in the 20th century? Is it in the 21st century? Is it in the early 90s, in the early 2000s? That is setting in terms of time. Setting in terms of place is where are these things happening? Where are these events happening? Is it in Kenya? Is it outside Kenya? Is it Nairobi? The particular place. And so if you're writing a play and you want your play to have different settings. For example, you want scene 1 to be in an office. You want scene 2 to be outside in the field. You want scene 3 to be back in the office or in a different office in a house. Setting can be different. A play does not need to have only one setting. You can have as many settings as possible, but ensure that you explain that to the reader using what we've called the stage directions. And when we look at a sample of a play, we will see what stage directions are. And then there's what is called conflict. Conflict refers to the struggle between opposing characters in a play. Remember, we said characters, we have the protagonist and the antagonist. So the struggle between these two is what we call conflict. And every play usually has conflict. And lastly, we have what we call themes. So a theme is the message you want to convey in your play. A play can have one theme or many themes, depending on the author or the writer, the playwright. So, as you're preparing to write your play, carefully consider the message that you wish the play to convey. Develop the themes through the development of the characters. So if you want your play to talk about, say, corruption, ensure that you have characters who are corrupt, you have characters who are not corrupt. That is how you develop the theme. So the themes should also be relevant and applicable to real life situations so that the play can speak to the reader. So if you're going to talk about corruption, this is something that happens in real life. So your reader will be able to relate to that theme. Ensure that the language you use for each character corresponds with such a character in real life. So if you have a character who is a judge, you know how maybe some of the language or the words that are used in a court of law. So ensure that you use those words as you describe this judge in your stage directions. Maybe you're describing what they are wearing, how they are walking. Ensure that it corresponds to a judge in real life. For example, you will not see a judge in jeans in the courtroom. They wear their gown. So that is something that you can describe so that even as I'm reading, I can truly see that this character is really a judge because I know how judges look like or how judges behave or the language that they use in a court of law in real life. So make sure that the language that you use, the characters that you use are as relatable as possible. So let us have a look at a sample of an extract of a play. These are just a few lines just to clearly understand. At a livestock market where there are several stalls and sheds and a few traders in the background, Nzuga and Ndege are talking anxiously down stage center. What I have just read is what is called stage directions. This is where the playwright gives some background information to the reader. So these stage directions, you see, like here have helped us know the setting. Where is this scene happening? Who are the characters in this scene? So that is what we call stage directions, and they're always important in any play as they give the further or the hidden information. Let us now go to the play. We have two characters, Nzuga and Ndege. So Nzuga starts by asking, how much did Carissa say he wanted for his cow? Ndege responds by saying, a huge sum, my brother, a huge sum. And then Nzuga asks, how huge is huge? Be specific. I don't know how to count huge. Dege responds, well, Carissa said he wants 25,000 bob cash for his cow. And that play continues. I just took a few lines just for demonstration purposes to show you what stage directions are and how a play looks like. So you will have the name of the character and then what they said, then the name of the other character and then what they said. If you want to explain something in the middle of the play, you can always use the stage directions. They don't have to come before you start the play. They can come even in the middle, maybe after the words of a character. You can have the stage directions there signaling us or telling us what is about to happen. So for example, if we are going to use this play, maybe when Nzuga is asking, how huge is huge? Be specific. I don't know how to count huge. Maybe you can put in brackets there and say, he puts up an angry face, or he pockets, or he removes his jacket or something. That is what we call stage directions to explain further what is happening in this particular scene. So that's it for this particular session. I hope you have understood everything about plays and you're able to write a play, or maybe you're able to read a play, and this time you will understand what to look out for. You'll understand the structure of a play. So for further practice, you can have a look at the quiz and attempt it. Write a one-scene play that will be acted by the drama club in your school during prize giving day. Maybe you can go to the administration and ask them what will be the theme of this year's prize giving day, and then write a play centered around that theme. Thank you for tuning in and see you in the next session.